There's a wide section of American society that just can't handle it. What are we doing here? This is the controversy. Beauty is subjective. It's only okay we say it's okay. There's no logic here. They try to turn it into something because they depend on it to continue the narrative. They're selling jeans. You put a pretty girl in blue jeans in 2025, and apparently there's a wide section of American society that just can't handle it. Lizzo is the latest to weigh in on this, but let's take a look at Sydney Sweeney, which is never a bad idea. And there she is, speaking of Canadian tuxedos. Good Lord. She's looking like the, I don't know, a bridesmaid in a Canadian wedding. Hey, listen. The tagline on this American Eagle ad, or this campaign, at least the first ad that they ran out, is Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. They're selling jeans. I don't know if you understand how advertising works. Look, I'm not Don Draper, and I'm not going to pretend to be. But generally, when you're selling a product, you're trying to convince the people that you're hoping to sell it to that the product is great, so that they'll buy it. Do you understand how a commerce works? So a company that is trying to sell jeans puts a beautiful woman in those jeans and then says, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans, which I think for most of us, we would take that to mean, I see what you did there. Little double meaning. She's wearing great jeans that we're hoping to sell to you, and she's a 10, so clearly she has great genes. She's beautiful, right? Well, not so fast, because we've got people out there that apparently are reading more deeply into it than that. The idea that, and I shake my head, the idea that this is some sort of dog whistle form of racism. What are we doing here? Okay, let's talk about this. First of all, I have said, look, my hero when I was a kid was a black Muslim. And we were talking on the program yesterday. He's my favorite athlete of all time. My favorite baseball player when I was a kid was Reggie Jackson. Earl Campbell, one of my favorite football, on down the fucking line. Okay? I absolutely condemn and have no tolerance for racism in this world. Okay? My mama taught me very early on. She said, you judge people on their character. You judge people on who they are. That is what matters. I don't believe that anybody is better than anybody else or worse than anybody else because of the amount of melanin that they have in their skin. And that's all that it is. If your ancestors lived closer to the equator, you're going to have darker skin because human evolution evolved more melanin to deal with the sun beating down on you in a Saharan environment. And if you live farther away from the equator, you didn't need that, so those folks didn't develop more melanin, and so their skin's lighter. That's all that it is. That's all that it is, folks. And anybody that would tell you that somebody's better than somebody else or worse than somebody else because of their color or their skin is full of shit. And racism has done a lot of damage in the history of the world. Now, with that said, I don't have a lot of tolerance for people who find contrived racism in things where there doesn't appear to be any on a rational, reasonable level for me. When I look at the American Eagle ads with Sydney Sweeney, I see a company that's trying to sell jeans with a pretty girl, and I don't really find anything more to the story than that. If you see more to the story than that, I think you're looking for more, and I question your motives. Racism is bad, but accusing racism where you don't have a credible basis for said accusation is also bad. So I'm a little tired of this. When I saw the first ad, I was like, this is the controversy? This is the controversy. They're trying to sell jeans, and they say that the jeans are great, and they make a wordplay on the fact that they've got a knockout who is endorsing their product. But everybody's getting in on this. Lizzo now has tweeted out this, and let's take a look. This went out on her Instagram, and this is AI, by the way. She said, if the Democrats won the election, and look, and I'm not, you know, and again here, look, I don't know what Lizzo's intentions are, you know, but yeah, look, here's what I would say to you is beware of popping buttons. I see that picture and like, I'm already ducking because I don't want to catch one of those buttons when it, yeah, they're coming off at 600 miles an hour here. And look, standards of beauty is subjective. If you look at that AI of Lizzo and you think that that's more to your type, hey, you do you, more power to you. I think beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, all colors, from around the world. But I don't think that, you know, I just think, what the fuck are we talking about here? Dragging racism into this. It's absolutely ridiculous. In my opinion. Now, let me bring in the international streaming star, a man who has lots of opinions on beautiful women and perhaps even women that he considers to be less than beautiful. I speak, of course, of Ronnie T-shirts. Ronnie, what do you think about this whole Sydney Sweeney has great genes? Do you think...
No, Ricky, of course I don't think. I think these people are morons. I think that these people, like when you see racism, which I don't even see how this even can be construed as racism, but when you see Nazism or whatever it is, you're the Nazi. I don't see this. Like when your first thought is racism with something, you're the racist, not me, because I didn't even see it. How does that even cross your mind? Now, you might say, oh, American Eagle, they're objectifying women to sell their product. Okay, you probably have a leg to stand on with that argument. And that's it. Everything else, you're making up. You're just, again, your oxygen is looking for things to be outraged at. These people are psycho. I will tell you, Ricky, I might go to the mall today and buy something from American Eagle, even though I don't really need anything. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Well, I hope you get something cute.
Oh,
Ron, let us know
what you thinking about
on the program next episode.
I'm thinking about maybe a skirt, like a little skirt, like a little jean skirt, something like that.
Well, somebody's going to be offended by that. You're appropriating female culture now, you monster.
Oh, wait, I thought that was okay.
How dare you do that?
Wait, I thought that was okay. I'm so confused.
It's only okay.
I don't even know what I can do anymore.
I need to get the rule book out. Let me see here. It's only okay if you know, we say it's okay. There's no logic here to a lot of these things. And look, you could flip this around. You could take, I don't know, Rosie O'Donnell will be my example. We would probably find somebody younger. But if it was Rosie O'Donnell, or let's say, I don't know, Beyonce or whatever, what if American Eagle had this ad and it was like, Beyonce has great genes? They could have done the same thing. A beautiful woman who is pitching their product. It's Beyonce has great genes. Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Where race comes into this,
I don't even understand. I don't understand it.
I
really don't.
It's an industry.
I really don't.
It's an industry. It is a self-propelled motor where what they do is they take things like this that are innocuous, in my opinion, and then they try to turn it into something because they depend on it to continue the narrative, the grift. And, I just think that we got to stop buying into this. Racism, real racism, should be called out and condemned in every instance. And I also think we got to get to a point here in society where we can learn and have the courage to condemn false accusations of racism as well, because those aren't good either. And sometimes people are afraid to do that because they think that if they stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, this is bullshit, there's going to be a chorus of people who call them racist. That's why it is such a powerful tool to try to shape the culture.
I would say ultimately, though, Ricky, this is just absolutely doesn't work in their favor because at some point this becomes Charlie Brown's teacher, mwah, 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 or the boy that cries wolf. And when there's real racism, we're just going to go, shut up.
It does a disservice. We're so tired.
Yeah.
It does a disservice to actually being on guard for real racism because people get fatigue from sideshow silliness like this. And then when there's a situation where, hey, maybe we do need to perk up.
No, this time it's real. No, this time it's real. Seriously, pay attention. This time it's real. Yeah.
All right. Ron, thankfully, race is not something that can be injected into the next item on today's show.
I don't even know what you're going to say, but I bet somebody could figure it out. Somebody will figure it out.
We'll see what they. Well, we'll see, Ron. Maybe you can work on it. Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark. We've talked on the program going all the way back to Gino Auriemma and Diana Taurasi, suggesting that Caitlin Clark's transition from the NCAA to the WNBA was not going to be as fabulous as many of her fans, most of her fans, almost all of her fans were expecting. And, we've taken a little bit of delight in saying, okay, Diana, the reality check, who did it come for? She even poked fun at herself at the end of the season. Gino Auriemma, the greatest coach in the history of women's basketball, 12 NCAA championships. He wasn't exactly right, was he? But here we are, UConn Husky, Paige Bueckers, this year's Rookie of the Year, most likely. Take a look at how she stacks up, Ron, against Caitlin Clark statistically this year. She's averaging more points per game, more steals, more blocks, way less turnovers. She's shooting a better percentage from the field, better percentage from three-point range, better percentage from the foul line. She's leading her in most statistical categories, and she's leading her in the ability that is not reflected in these statistics, and it's one of the most important abilities. Availability, Ron.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
She's leading her in availability as well. Look, I don't think that Paige Bueckers is a better basketball player than Caitlin Clark. I do think that Paige Bueckers is a very well-coached, high IQ, talented basketball player. And I think that the statistics don't lie here. She's having a better season than Caitlin Clark. And I will tell you, I did not expect that.
Ricky, I just, my instinct tells me that because of the lack of athletic ability that women inherently have, and I'm talking about when we talk about playing above the rim, there's only so much that Caitlin Clark can do. Like she can't Michael Jordan you. She can't LeBron James you because her athletic ability has a certain limit. And I just think that like in football, you'll see an offense, a team has this offense, it's just rolling, but then the defenses, they adapt and they figure it out. And that offense is not as prolific as it used to be. And you're like, why? What happened? It's like people figured it out. And I think that this is what's happening with Caitlin. Now, granted, she has not played a lot. I don't know how much her injuries have affected, what her stats are. But I just think it's easier to figure out somebody that doesn't have, just doesn't have that crazy athleticism where you can jump over people, and it's just I think it's easier to figure out, and I think that's what you're seeing. I think you're seeing that the WNBA is figuring out how to play defense against her.
Yeah, I still expect her to pick it up from here. She's got more in the tank than she's shown so far this season, but credit where credit is due. Paige Bueckers is off to a hell of a start in her rookie season. First half of the season, she is proving that she's the goods. as producer Tim, I believe, had faith that she would. All right, Ron, you are obviously continuing upon your micro penis journey every day of your life. Your book
every day
continues to be, I believe, on the New York Times bestseller list. It's been many weeks now that it is.
I'll say it's getting easier. I'll say it's getting easier now. Like I'm really starting to accept it and just kind of like, it is what it is, and I got to make the best of it.
It's your spirit. It's just your indomitable spirit. I think
I've embraced
so many people behind you.
I've embraced it. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to embrace it because, you know, but
not unlike Lizzo, Ron. You've shown us what it's like to be comfortable in your own body.
Yeah.
And you've embraced the inadequacies. Well, let me tell you this. The football players down at Ole Miss are on their own journey. And their journey's a little bit different, Ron. Lane Kiffin's boys they're running the pecker gauntlet there down in Oxford. God bless them. If you can run through 30 18-inch dicks, who in the SEC can possibly stop you after that? I suppose is the theory. This thing is called the Wilder machine, Ron, and that's Logan Diggs making his way through. Those are supposed to be padded arms.
Oh, this isn't AI?
Like arms to me.
Oh, I thought this was AI.
Oh, this is real? This is fucking real.
Oh, come on.
The Ole Miss Rebels are using this as part of their training here. Yes, this is real, dude.
Oh, come on, Ricky. They did.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
it's real.
The manufacturer had to know when they first put out, they're like, I got a great idea. That nobody saw this.
Make them look like that. Yeah.
Nobody saw it, right?
It's new technology. Ron, it's new technology. You got to keep up. You got to stay with the times. Speaking of new technology, at the Hall of Fame game last night in Canton, Ohio, the NFL on the broadcast debuted new technology that we have known was in the pipeline for a while, Ron. The chain gang may be obsolete at this point. They're still there as a backup. They're just, they're over on the sideline smoking lung darts in case they're needed. But now we have virtual measurements. It's almost like watching U.S. Open tennis, where we get to see how close the ball is or whatnot. So I think we should bring in the expert to talk about this one and all things NFL. It's my pleasure to welcome to the program OutKick's senior NFL writer and friend of the program. He is, of course, the great Armando Salguero. Armando, how you doing, man?
Yeah, no, Ricky, I appreciate you bringing me on right after the phallic symbol football drill segment.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Apropos. Thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I should say, speaking of enormous equipment, we now bring in a man who knows all about it. He is.
Yes.
So what do you think about this? We got our first look at it. Are we expecting this to be a smooth transition into the new normal this year with the technology, Armando?
Oh, 100%. Because you know that technology never fails. And you know that, the NFL gets all its ducks in a row all the time relative to replay and game stoppage. It's going to be seamless. No.
No sarcasm detected whatsoever there. The Hawkeye technology by Sony, for those who don't know.
Yeah, there's a reason why they still have the old guys on the sideline with the chains, just in case, because the NFL knows that sometimes the best laid plans go south, and they have a backup, and that's fine. That's going to be fine. It probably will require some fine tuning at some point, because I just can't wait for the first controversy where the technology says first down, but the ball is about an eighth of an inch short. And people are going to go, the opposing sideline is going to erupt. So it should be interesting. The memo that the NFL sent out to the teams and the coaches was, this is the best of the best, and we expect to go forward. So I guess kind of accept. But, coaches sometimes have differing opinions and viewpoints.
Armando, speaking of the question, are things going to be fine? Terry McLaurin has requested a trade. He wants out of our nation's capital. What are you hearing about this, and what can we expect with the future between the Washington Commanders and Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, there's a lot of drama throughout the NFL with, veterans and contract holdouts. Terry McLaurin in Washington, Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati, Micah Parsons in Dallas. Terry McLaurin in Washington is interesting because he has been the face of that franchise up until, I would say, last year. For about 5, 6, 7 years. He was arguably their best player, their most accomplished player, and he wants to be paid like it, and he wants to be rewarded like it. His problem is that he is 29 years old. He's going to be 30 next month, and the Commanders don't want to pay, or certainly not to the extent that McLaurin wants, a wide receiver who's on the wrong side of 30. And so that is where that is at. And it's gotten to the point where they're not talking. And so McLaurin, who is holding in, has said, you got to trade me. I'm done with this. If you don't want to pay me, someone else will. And he's right. Someone else will. Teams have actually called the Commanders about trading for McLaurin, and the Commanders, who want it both ways, have said, we're not interested in trading him. So they're not interested in trading him, and they're not apparently interested in signing him at the rate that he wants to be paid because he's too old for them. That's a rough stance to take if you're the Washington Commanders.
Well, it throws a little bit of a wrench in this up-and-coming team. The season that they had last year, Jaden Daniels obviously has ascended to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL already in his young career. What does this do for a team that, seemingly had such a good trajectory? Is this the kind of thing that they're going to be able to sustain and deal with internally if nothing really happens here? If they think that he's just going to stay with them? Are they asking for a problem?
Well, welcome to being good. In the world of being good in the NFL, teams have to manage coaches leaving for promotions, players playing so well that they want bigger money, bigger contracts, the president wanting to change your nickname. And even though he didn't care about it, before the NFC Championship game last year, or at least wasn't saying as much. So it's the world of being good. Before last year, when the Commanders were in the NFC Championship game and surprised everybody, their problems were, we're a circus, and our fight song is they were that team. Changing coaches all the time and changing front offices all the time. Now they've got the we're good problems, and deal with it, gentlemen, because if you want to be better, there's going to be more of that coming up.
All right, Armando, how about this? Christian Wilkins released by the Las Vegas Raiders, and we've heard the reports of the weird behavior, or certainly what appears to be weird behavior, things such as sticking or attempting to stick his index finger in a teammate's ear, trying to kiss a teammate on the head. What's going on with Christian Wilkins? Is this just being reported in a way that is overblowing innocuous behavior, or were there actually concerning things going on with this guy?
Look, let's just put the cards on the table. Christian Wilkins is a 12-year-old. And, you know, that's where his maturity level is at times. And he does stuff that people who are adults may or may not, you know, roll with. And he happened to find the wrong guy and decided, I love this guy. Let me kiss him on the head. And the dude was not thrilled about that because he's an alpha male, you know, super testosterone NFL player. I've seen Christian Wilkins kiss a bunch of guys on the head. And typically it's a love thing and it's an appreciation thing. It's not any sort of sexual thing whatsoever. But again, some folks that, you know, you're invading their personal space and you're doing stuff that they might not be cool with. Personally, if that's it, then I don't have a problem with it. If it goes beyond that to other stuff that isn't necessarily immaturity, you know that he was known for grabbing opponents by the groin during games and has done that multiple times in college and in the pros. And so he's different. Are you getting that picture? He's different. And when you pay $110 million for different and you're not aware that he was that different, that's why the Raiders are trying to back out. Good luck to them trying to, you know, take away his $35 million guaranteed, because that's going to be an interesting arbitration session.
I heard that he went through Lane Kiffin's training equipment once and just grabbed every one of those things on his way through, Armando. Remember music television? Remember when they played videos? MTV debuted today in 1981. And MTV's debut is now closer in time to Pearl Harbor than today. In fact, that tweet is a little bit dated. MTV's debut is now closer to 1938 than today. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, really, doesn't that really bring it home? 1938? Was Lou Gehrig still playing in 1938? MTV's debut closer on the time-space continuum to Lou Gehrig wearing pinstripes, if I'm not mistaken, than to today. And sadly, I feel like Don Corleone when I think about MTV. You know, it's just like, look what they did to my beautiful boy. We had a wonderful thing going in the 1980s. Music videos, music television that played music. And then it eventually became a bunch of sad-ass reality shows. And you were lucky if you got any music at all. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what the state of MTV is today because I haven't watched that shit in a very, very long time. But it is Friday. Let's focus on the positives. Let's not focus on how old we're getting. Let's focus on the good things. We got the weekend ahead of us, and I hope that your Friday is smooth, you sweet bastards. I really do. I'm not sure if it's going to be this smooth, however. Look at that man. Probably not going to be this smooth. But we're all working with what we've got. But what Billy D. Williams had to work with was just a little bit extra now, wasn't it? He was a cool motherfucker, wasn't he? Look at that tie. You imagine going out in a denim jacket. He's wearing a Canadian tuxedo with a tie that looks like it was fashioned from the curtains in your grandma's living room. And he's still the coolest motherfucker you've ever seen. I don't know. Look at the collars on that thing. People say to me, why the 70s? Why do you love the 70s so much? And I would like to introduce into evidence, Your Honor, Exhibit A, Billy D. Williams on the cover of Ebony magazine in a Canadian tuxedo and a tie that's wider than a highway.
Hey, OutKick fans on YouTube, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and make your way over to OutKick.com where you can watch the full episode.